Good morning. I'd like to tell you about your next assignment, and this is your final assignment, and it is to do the demonstration speech. Um, a demonstration speech is one that helps you to demonstrate something you know how to do to the rest of the class. And the idea behind it is that through your speech, you will be not only telling them what to do, but also showing them what to do. And so the first thing you have to do is decide on something. So think about what you can do well. What are you good at? What do you like to do? Maybe it's something that your classmates have never um, thought about before or done before, and you can show them that you know what you're doing and how to do it well. Some ideas. For example, you're really into sports, and so you are playing baseball or softball, and you want to show the rest of the class how to do the different kinds of pitches. And so you would get a baseball and you would hold it and you'd show them how to put their fingers around the ball, and you would explain the different types of pitches and when you would use each one, and and make it clear to them. Now, sometimes if you're learning something new, you can't do it well the first time. If somebody shows you how to do it and they show you one time real quickly, then you don't really get it. So sometimes you have to go back and maybe recap what you've said or what you've done and show them more than one time. Other ideas for speeches. Maybe you have been into karate and you want to show different kicks, or you want to show how to break a board with your hand or your foot or something like that. That would be a good example. Different other ideas. Sometimes people do cooking, and that's always a fun one to do at school. It won't be quite as fun at home, but at school, kids always like to do cooking because they can give the treats to everybody else in the class to try out afterwards. But if you choose to do a cooking demonstration speech, be very careful that you have things to say as you are adding your ingredients and stirring and things like that, because if you say to someone to put the sugar and flour and butter in, whatever, now stir it, and you just stand there and stir and stir and stir and stir, and you don't say a word, that's really boring. And so that's not, you're showing us, but you're also filling in a lot of details. So if you are making cookies or something and you're stirring the dough, you might want to talk about in cookie dough, you need to make really sure that you get all the ingredients mixed in well, so that, for example, baking powder or soda or something doesn't just sit in one spot. You want to get it well done, well combined. The difference, like if you're making a cake, or excuse me, no, not a cake. What is it that you make? Like if you're making some kind of dough or something, you don't want to mess with the dough too much, because if you overwork it, then it won't turn out right. So you can give some examples of tips and things as you're doing something to fill us in with talking as you are demonstrating. What other ideas could you use? What if I've heard kids say, I don't know how to do anything. I'm not very good at anything really. So I had to do a speech for college one time, and demonstration speech, and I didn't know what to do. I was an adult in college, and there were all these younger kids, and I thought, I can't play a guitar, so I can't teach them how to play a guitar. I can't, a lot of things I didn't know how to do. So I decided that I would show them how to tie a necktie. Well, Actually, I had to go to my brother's first and have him teach me. So I really didn't have talent or knowledge in it, but I learned how to do it so because it was something simple that I could do for a speech. And so as you're putting the necktie in different places, I would show them how to do it and then move the tie up. And then I would untie it. And I said, probably you didn't catch that right off the bat. So I'm going to show you again how to do it. And so I would go through, tell them each step to do, and go through each step of tying a necktie. And as I was doing that, I also gave them some tips on how to take care of a necktie, because you can't throw it in the washing machine and wash it. So what if you're out somewhere and you're eating and you spill something on your necktie? Then what do you do? And so I taught them, I looked up, I did a little research and found out about proper care for a good necktie, and how to wash it and clean it, and how to store it. Do you fold it up and put it in your drawer? Do you leave it on the floor in a crumple? Do you, what do you do with it? And so I did a little bit of research also to give some tips as I was demonstrating. Then I wanted to give them as much knowledge as I could also. So these are important things to think about as you do your demonstration speech. I've had girls get a model and teach how to do makeup, or like maybe eye makeup and things. So you can use a model. You could ask a friend to help you. That might be a little bit difficult with coronavirus, but you could do a family member or something. If you need a model, you can use someone to help you. I even had a kid one time do how to brush your teeth properly. And he stood up there and brushed his teeth. and I think he had a model too, whatever. I think, but it was kind of fun. It was just different. And so it doesn't have to be something complicated that you're really talented in or something. It does have to be something that we can all see. For example, when I was thinking about doing my speech, I was thinking about sewing, because I like to sew and things, but it's really hard for everyone to see that. And so I knew that wouldn't work very well, because people just couldn't see what I was doing up close well enough. So I had to think of something that, as I was modeling how to do it, the whole entire class could see it. And so you're probably going to need for this speech someone to maybe to video you, or maybe to help you. So you might need to get a family member to be a part of your demonstration speech. This speech, you do not have to dress up for. You can just wear whatever you're wearing. And one of the key things you need to remember is to make sure that we can see you and hear you at all times. So don't turn your back on the camera if you can help it. Make sure that it's something that we could see, and by watching you and listening to you, we could learn how to do it, basically, in essence. You do have a little bit of advantage to your speech, because in the past, kids have always had to do their speech in the classroom. And in this case, you have the opportunity to go outside and do something if that will help you do a good speech. I had a kid who wanted to teach how to change a tire one time, and I couldn't let him do that because it would have taken up way too much time. We would have had to go outside and come back in, and it just would have been taken too much of our class time. So, but if you want to teach somebody how to change a tire, back your car up in the driveway and have somebody video you, and make sure you turn to the camera and talk to us and show us how to do it. That'd be a great thing. So you have a little bit more advantage with your speech, because you have a little bit more freedom. Your speech should be 3 to 10 minutes. Please don't make it any longer than 10 minutes. because that gets kind of old sitting there for so long. And I might show bits and pieces of your different speeches next year when you come back as juniors to school. Uh, I'll have them on my computer, and I can bring it and show you. And so if you know, pretend like your whole class is going to be watching, because they might be. I might bring it in and show it. So do this as if everyone was watching. You did a really nice job on your information speech and your persuasive speech. Everybody looked very professional, knowledgeable. You just did a wonderful job. I'm really proud of your speeches. And so I'm excited to see these and just have fun with this. This doesn't have to be as formal. You're not going to be memorizing information, but remember that you are a presenter in front of a crowd. And so you want to make things organized. Be very organized. Step 1, step 2, step 3. And also make it interesting. Get our attention. Have fun with it. Say a joke or two if you want to. It doesn't matter. When I did my necktie speech, at the end of my speech, I said, now, hopefully I've showed you 2 or 3 times how to tie a necktie properly. But if you can't remember, you can always revert to, and I had a pre-tied tie that I just, like a bow tie that I just clipped on my shirt and kind of made them laugh, you know. So, so have fun with this speech. You won't have to memorize things, but you will want to be very organized and have information that you want to talk about beforehand so that you don't stumble around with it. So this is always the one everybody looks forward to. And by the way, if you do cooking and I decide I want to show your speech next year, maybe you could bring us some treats too. That'd be fun. So anyhow, but have fun with this. This will be due, let's see, I'm not sure what our last day of school is. So right now I'm just going to put on your assignments to start preparing for your demonstration speech. I will give you a definite due date in a couple days here. And so I will post that in a couple days. But basically this is all you're going to be doing for speech. So you're almost at the end point for this one. So put your thinking caps on, have fun planning this out, and we will talk again soon.